Okay, in this video I just want to show you quickly how to use Google Maps. Google Maps is a great tool for finding different places, investigating your local area, etc. I'm going to show you using my Google Apps domain how to access different things. So I've got my map here, and you can search for obviously anywhere using postcodes and places and so on. But what I want to do is I want to create a map. So rather than just being able to explore different countries, if I go to My Places, you'll see that I've made a few maps down here. So we were looking at where food comes from. So if you look here, what you can do is you can have pins with different pictures on as well. So you can look and see where things have gone around the world. Maybe you've got a class bear that's travelling around the world, or maybe you want to see where children have visited on holiday and that sort of thing. So to do that, all you need to do is if you go to My Places and create map. So let's give this a map of Ian's map. You can choose whether it's public, share with everyone, or you can only share it if you've got the address. I'm going to leave it as public for now, and then done. Now when I add anywhere, for example, if I was to add Paris, I can search, and when I find my pin, what I can do is if I click on my pin, or over here you can click Save to Map as well, and you can choose which map to save it to. So if I click Save it to Ian's map, that's saved. I could then add a different one. Let's go with Sydney, Australia, and again save to map and save. Now what will happen is when I go to My Places and I look at the map that I've just made, I can zoom out and you'll see, if I zoom out a bit further, that you'll be able to have pins for the different places that you've got on your map. So I've got one over there and one here. So I can add different things to my maps as I explore. Now if I click on one of my pins here, you can see that I can do directions and so on as normal. But actually if I wanted to edit my map, and if I click on one of the places, I can put some text in here instead. So if I was looking for famous landmarks, I could add the Eiffel Tower on there. I can also click on my little pin there and change it for a different picture, or I can add an icon. Now to add an icon I need to have the address of the image. So to do that, I'm going to just leave that as it is for now and open up a new tab and just go to Google Images. And I want to find a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and I think that one looks fine to me. And once you've found your image, if you just find the address there, you can do this up here as well using the image as well. So copy image URL and come back to Paris, and when I click on the picture and add an icon, this address, if I just paste that in, that will then change to a picture of the Eiffel Tower. Now one thing that would be very, very useful, if I just write picture courtesy of Wikipedia, that's where I got it from, would be very useful, and you can start putting different places around the world. So if I do that again, let's try that for Sydney Opera House as well. So I've got my pin down there, gone back to Google Images and search for Sydney Opera House, and that one's quite a nice picture, so I click on it when it's on that screen, and then when it's here I'm just going to right click, copy image URL, and then Sydney, delete what's in there, click on my little pin, add an icon, and you see it stores some of the icons I've previously used, and this icon is going to be the one for the Opera House. And then I need to say this came from sydneyarchitecture.com. It's always good to reference where you got the picture from. There we go. Okay, so you can start putting pins all around the world, showing off different landmarks, where your class bear has travelled to, where food has come from, and so on. Quite simple, quite useful thing to do. Now if you want to share this with other people, you can collaborate up here. Let's just save that and collaborate, and what that will do is it will give you the link. You can say that anyone else can edit this map if you wanted to do a famous landmark from where you were. You could also invite people, so you could just write their names in here, etc., and then it will email them saying, Ian has just shared a map with you, why don't you go and add to it. You then press send invitation. Just going to close that. To if you go to Collaborate again, you'll see that your map has a URL there, so that's the address of your map if you wanted to find it later and share it with other people, and just press done when you're finished editing, and there's your map there. To find it again later, if you go to My Places, you'll see there's a list on there, and you can then delete them if you wanted to, and if you didn't need that map anymore. So that's a quick guide of how to use Google Maps to add your own pins rather than just exploring the world.